Well, hello. Didn't see you there. This week we're gonna have some extra good fun. For any of you that haven't seen the El Camino yet, now named Bingo, well, then you don't know that it's got the typical G-body rear frame rot. Yep, it does. She's rotted out pretty bad. So we're gonna do the right thing and make it worse by putting some new metal in it. Let's have a go, shall we? All right, well, let's go through what we've got ordered here. A couple new Amazon taillights. Definitely need those. Energy suspension polyurethane body mounts, because the ones in the back are completely shot. And if you're gonna do the ones in the back, you might as well do them all. So this is a whole kit to do the whole body. Enough. As you can hear, I've got the noisemaker down here. Knock it off. Anyway, like I was saying, so if we're gonna do the rears, we might as well do the whole car. We've got the whole kit, all the washers, sleeves, all the body mounts. Boy, they don't give those things away anymore. Holy cow, have those gone up in price. We've got All-Star Performance frame repair plate. These are for the G-body. I found them on Summit Racing. And basically, there's one for each side. Typically on these G-bodies, it's the inside of the frame that starts to go first, and then the other portions of it start to go. Mainly like inside, bottom, inside and then bottom. The top not so much, and then the outer side facing the outer part of the car is normally the last. So I did notice that we've got some rot going above the arches. So these were, I think they were fairly inexpensive, I don't remember. But since they already have a contour, I figured we could use what we need out of those. And then I think I got these on where did I get these? Parts Geek. So these are your rear frame rails, one for each side. And this only goes part way up the arch. And then obviously your body mounts here, and then your rear bumper shock will bolt on here, and then your bumper will bolt on out here. I think we only have one bumper shock, so we're gonna have to make one for the other side because they are ridiculously expensive. Here's the other side. So we've got that stuff ready. I'm sure we're gonna have to probably eventually get some more plate steel because, well, I'll show you once we get it up in the air. I've never actually done this. I don't know what to expect. It's probably gonna be an enormous pain. But we're gonna give her a shot. So we're gonna start by running any air out of the rear shocks that may be in there, because we got to take those, whoopsies, we got to take those and the springs out. So we'll let the air out of those, and then we'll raise her up in the air and have a look. Boy, that really sacks out the rear end, don't it? It's amazing. I actually drove it home from Muscatine that way. Didn't even know there was rear air shocks under it until I was crawling around under it with you guys, and I seen them. So up we'll go, and we'll get an eyeball on what this is gonna take. So pretty. Oh, and I got a gauge set. Oil, water temp, and charging voltage. I have an idea where I want to put it, but I'll show you guys. See what you think of my idea. right, well now we got her up in the air. I did see that mud dauber nest up there. I thought they only had those down there in Pot County, Oklahoma. Apparently I was mistaken. So I wanted to take a look quick because we do have some mess on the ground. Looks like we have a minor transmission leak back here. Got an oil leak from the drain pan, it looks like. And maybe something from up there. A lovely Fram oil filter. We'll be getting rid of that ASAP. A really awkwardly bent or misinstalled dipstick tube. We'll have to take care of that. It does have the new style oil pan gasket on it, so it's got the rubber one-piece Velcro on it. So this thing's been apart. Don't know what they did, but it's been apart. We got fuel leak up here, so that'll be good for when we're cutting and welding. And then the water pump appears to have a leak that looks like it's coming from, you guessed it, the weep hole. It goes in the square hole. Other than that, pretty clean bill of health. Just pull the engine out, let's reseal it. Put a new cam in it. It's got a new-ish exhaust system on it. It's been welded together there and there. It sounds good, so I'm not mad at that. But, ooh. I wonder if that's still intact. That old choke plate or whatever that used to be up there. Could definitely get rid of that. Oh, leaking more tranny fluid over here. Anyway, sidetracked. Sorry about that. So, what do we got? Not too, I wonder if this thing actually, oh yeah, it does magnet. Nice. So it's not too rusty here or here so much, but right in here is all rotted. And you can see right here why I got those patch pieces, because I should just buy a headlight and wear that. She's rotting out right there, and all this is rotted out, and I believe that those pieces that I bought only come to here, and we're rotted all the way back to like here-ish. So I think once we get this stuff out of here, I probably just blew these. I don't know, probably not. They're pretty old. We're gonna have to definitely cut along here and this top side and fit what we can of that inner panel into here, and then we're gonna have to come up with some strap for the bottom, and if we can use something, I don't know if that's a rust hole or if that's one of these body holes. Let's see if the other side's got it. No, it don't. So it's a rust hole. This is not going to be fun, guys. So, yeah, we're going to have to figure out a patch out here. This is a seam, so we're going to have to figure out what to do along the bottom side, and then we've got our outside panel, which looks like it curves in. Yeah. Not gonna be easy. But, you know what? We can get it figured out, right? I wonder what this is for. Was there a spare tire that used to reside up here somewhere? I don't know, because it's bolted. It almost looks like it used to be a hanger of some sort. I'm not exactly sure. Anyway, other than all that rot, it's not terribly bad. The rest of the frame's in good shape. And really the inner rockers are fine. This is all, this thing's been Z-barded. So this is all that rubber coating. You can kind of see it here too. Floors are good. Kind of. She's a little crunchy right there. Freeze off. Not sponsored. But I just ain't kidding. It's the best crap you can buy. Get everything good blast. See if I can do this again for the other side. I literally just pulled that out, loosened that with my fingers. Yep, look at that. Can't even hardly believe that. Here she is. Blink. Just like that. So we'll go ahead and get the bottoms of these unhooked. I do need to get a screw jack to support this, and I'd also like to get some sort of support under the back somewhere that I could find a good spot just to support the bed. Not that these, I mean, yeah, they're still supporting it, but not a ton. I just don't want that to come crushing down on anything. Okay. Maybe. I got the old training jack support rocking and rolling over here. So that's good. And we've got rusty bolts up here. That's also good. 79. You suppose this is metric or standard? When did they switch? Does anybody know? Because I had a 1/2 inch on there. And it fit on one side. Now I've got a 13 mil on it, which is fitting the other one. I don't know. Let's get our impact over here. Make life a little easier. Those have a nut on the top. Yeah, why wouldn't they? They do. Why would you do that? And those would have never come off without freeze off. Ah, especially with blue Loctite on them. Best kept secret in the automotive industry. Well, we might as well grab these other two while we're over here. I think I got more rust down my chestal area than I did anywhere else. Okay. Make a pile of our stuff over yonder. Mm-hmm. We might just leave these old girls hang. Maybe not. I don't know. But I think we can pretty much about get those out. We'll lower our jack a little bit here. That old 4-link's not gonna let her go down super far, but we can get those out of there. Okay, now we can get a better look-see in here. I'm gonna be careful not to hurt our little airlines here. So, like what I was talking about earlier, we're gonna go back, find some good metal. Obviously the bottom, we're gonna have to go back probably to here somewhere. Let me grab a jabbing device or a hammer, either one. Pretty rotty there. I think if we came back like somewhere around there, should be okay. Zip it here. And I was also thinking, if we cut this here and cut along the bottom, and we just run somewhere along there, we'll only have to cut this here, because I think a lot of this up here is fairly solid, something about like so. And then we don't have to get up into this spring pocket up here. The rest of this looks good back here. So I think that's what we're going to try to do. And once we get this out in the bottom cut, then I think what we'll do, we'll take these tires off, obviously. We'll get this side fixed right here, and then we'll probably bring this piece in to where it needs to be and weld it along the top and this good side after we fix that. And then on this side, we can kind of form fit this to it, if that makes sense. It'd be harder to put this in and weld it all up and then try to slip that into it, in my opinion. Because I think once we get this tacked, we can support it with body mounts and it'll hold it where it needs to be, and then we can form fit the rest of that metal to it. See if this old girl will pop these wheels off. Not too bad. Also, I do have all the glass on the Cadillac covered for when we decide to start cutting and welding. I don't want any of that crap hitting the glass on that car. Drop two of them. Oh, those are a long way down there. Yeah, this side's in better shape than the driver's side. So let's get out a Sharpay. If I've got one still hiding up here. Doesn't appear so. My organization skills are top notch. Look at this. I cannot wait for that toolbox to get here, because this is what happens. I just have crap scattered everywhere. How about a paint marker? So that's got to go. Probably gonna cut this somewhere there. Oh shoot, I just lost my tip. Probably lost all my damn paint. Somewhere there, and then probably something about like that. We'll see. The more we get into it. And then kind of connect the dot over under here. Just to give us a reference anyway. All right, well, get the old safety goggles on here. And let's see if we can start cutting this old girl. Pretty healthy piece of metal. Been cut out. So I think now what we'll do, we got to work on the back side here. Get my light out of the way. And we'll probably just use Sawzall to get back in this corner. And then from there, we'll just cut it right along this weld and on both the body mounts and drop this whole back chunk out. And then I think once we get to that point, we'll try to get our new piece fitted up here and try to like start mocking a few things up and just kind of see how things look. This side obviously right in here is gonna be garbage. And then obviously we've got this to patch, but we don't want to go much past this to start with. And then we'll figure out what to do with this here. And you can see from the inside how that's starting to kind of get pretty gross along that bottom edge. We basically have this detached. We got to take our body mounts off of it, and then we'll get this out of the way, and then we'll see what we have to do to get the inside of this. So let me see how bad these are going to be. I'm sure they're going to be less than pleasant. Okay, well, we're going to have a problem here. Let me grab a light so you guys can see. As you can see, we've got whatever that situation is right there. And you can't really get to those because they're sealed inside this cavity. So that's pretty neat. Here's the other side of that. Looked like a bolt that was supposed to go clear up in there and just rotted away at the middle. Snapped. This one is doing a lot of the same. It's just gonna twist inside this cavity. I took an inspection camera up through here, and yeah, I'm not exactly sure what we're gonna do there. We're gonna end up probably having to cut it and then figure out what to do for body mounts. I don't know what this kit came with as far as hardware. Probably didn't come with any bolts. No. Did not come with any bolts. So that's pretty special. So we'll have to figure that out. Oh boy. What did we get ourselves into here, huh? Dang it, there goes my light. Yep, she just snapped off. That's all right, I guess. At least it's apart. There we go. There's that one. So, hopefully I didn't just break my dang light. There's Mr. Terry. Look at that car. Woo! God dang. All right, well, it's the next day. And first off, we're gonna address what to do with this stuff here. There's a chance that we may end up cutting somewhere along here to be able to pull this flap down and remove this. And this one's just completely rotted, like you can see. That needs new metal anyway. I'm sure this side's gonna be, well, it'll be similar. It's not as bad, but I was gonna weld a nut on this one and try to twist it out, but as you can see, that's spinning in its pocket already. It's just gonna rip through it. So I don't know. We're gonna have to figure out what to do. So I think we'll start with this one back here, and we'll cut this out so we can see what's inside these. And then we can try to, I don't know, replicate it, I suppose. I can always get new flat steel and weld back in here, because that's rotted anyway. I think I was just recording on time warp. Anyway, put this in the vise and twisted this off of the bolt. Had to use quite a bit of heat, but got that one. Now we got to work on getting the other one. Probably gonna have to cut that one out of the body as well, which I don't really want to, because it's not as in bad a shape. It's actually not bad. Too bad anyway. So, I don't know. We'll figure something out. I wish I had my stud remover kit down here, but I think that's just gonna twist. I don't know. It might come out of there, get some heat on it. I might run home and grab that stud remover kit and see what we can do with that one. All right. Well, she's coming. Little heat and stud remover. This is a really cheap set of these things. I've had them forever. If you guys don't have any, I think I got them at like AutoZone maybe or something way back in the day. But I tell you what, when you need them, they are fudging nice to have. That just saved us a lot of metal work getting that out of there, because this one's not rotted. There she is. Bingo. I believe they call that a win these days. So, yeah, let me show you, or try to. For any of you guys that have never used one of these stud removers, I'll kind of show you what they do. Open my vise up here. Oh, never mind. She fell out of there. So basically it just fits over the stud, and it's like a series of little rollers and stuff inside that, and as you turn it, it tightens and cinches down. I don't know where that went. Did that go in this box? Oh yeah, she's down in there. Oh. Should I risk my fingers? She's out of there. Don't want to burn up my nice wire. But anyway, yeah, very handy. So now that we got those out of there, we should probably try to fix this first before we do anything. So kind of have a plan for that. If, you know, a plan was a thing. So I need to get this tacked back on. And I think what that does, let's grab our piece here. Should be cooled off by now. So this is our piece that goes up in there. And I think all that bracket does is prevents this. It kind of fits like so in there. Prevents you from pushing this up inside the cavity and losing it. So this holds this in place when you're putting your bolts in. So we probably need that, and I'm sure we could come up with making one, except for I don't have a brake. And then it's just got a hole for your bolt to thread up through so it doesn't hit anything. All right, I'll try to do this one-handed here. So we're gonna call that, we're not gonna call it anything. Let's call that we'll go 9 1/4 by 7 1/4. Rough estimates, guys, rough estimates. So we'll go, I don't know where the hell my Sharpie went. 9 1/4 by 7 1/4 roughly. Let me find a Sharpie. Okay. Little Debbie is the new official workbench, apparently. Bring this over and slap an eyeball on it. So if we line that one up in the middle and that one up in the middle, that should be pretty good right there. I think that'll work. Now we just got to figure out what we're going to do with our little bracket on the inside. It looks like see that metal tab inside there on both sides? Well, if you look close right there, you can see like a rivet. I think those were just riveted in there. And this whole piece, everything was riveted together. So we're gonna weld it back together. Probably not full weld, but we'll get it nice and tacked in there. This isn't very thick steel. And we might just come up with a makeshift bracket for that. I tried to clean up our other bracket. There just ain't enough of it left to use. However, I've got some thin stuff here that we could build a small bracket out of and just kind of tack it. Good enough to, you know, work for us. All right, well, we measured it 6.5 inches long, 1.5 inches wide. We're just gonna cut this and then we'll use our vise to bend it, and we'll drill a couple holes in the center of it for the bolt to go up through, and that's what we'll do. So we'll see how that works. Well, I tell you what, you guys ever have those nights where all you do is lose? So kind of like that, and then these will break. Well, this might not work for us. Let's just see if this piece will fit up in there. Like I said, all we're gonna do tonight is not win. Something like that. We just need to make it longer. All right, well, that piece is welded in there. Just tacked. That's all it needs to be. So I'll drill out our hole. We should be good, and we can weld on our plate down here and have a functional body mount again. That'll be nice. Okay. Well, that piece is in, and a very crude hole was drilled because I don't have a big enough drill bit. We got the center of our hole, as I was saying before my camera so rudely decided to die. We transferred the center of that hole mark to our plate, which is right here. You can kind of see the mark. And the reason it's towards the rear is if you look at this box, it is towards the back side. So I want that hole to be in the right spot. That's just that undercoating stuff coming off. I bet we're gonna have to fix one of these two as well. So basically what I want to do, I want to hog this hole out a little bit more, and then I need to find the appropriate sized drill bit for this that will allow us to have the adjustability, you know, of moving this plate around like we need to for slight adjustments. So we'll see what we can do with all that. Okie dokie, well, we got that hole straightened around. We got this hole made. We just got to weld her up. Everything looks like it matches up just fine up in there. So I'll get this piece set in place, obviously, and then we can weld our cap on it. All right, we're gonna try to get this little girl welded up here, and it's gonna be a little tricky to hold and weld. Before we do that though, I want to clean up this other side a little better. I kind of missed a little bit over here, and I want to make sure it's nice and clean. Okay, well, like they say, grinder and paint makes me the welder I ain't. It's alright though, there's plenty of weld on that. I did go most of the way around it. She's solid. Laugh at me if you want. So now that we've got the body mounts sorted out, we need to start making a template and getting ready to do this other side. We've got a little bit of crap left up in there to get rid of. So upon further inspection and measuring and some cleanup with a wire wheel, if you can see that line approximately right here, that is where the new one welds up. That exactly matches with that pre-drilled hole that you can kind of see. The measurement from the center of that hole over matches up. So I didn't really want to butt weld this. I thought that it was sleeved based on how this one looks. If you look inside this one, it doesn't have the sleeve inside it. Get light. Yeah, no sleeve in there. So we are gonna have to butt weld this, and then I'll probably have to plate it just to make sure that it's good and strong. So let me do some math in here and some measuring, and maybe we can just figure this out finally. Also, I wanted to show this is all weld. Somebody's tried to weld something up, and this is not factory weld here. So maybe this sleeve that's in here is an old repair, because there's no way that's all factory weld. We took her back. Oh, where'd my light go? I dropped it again, didn't I? I did. Jesus, every time. Anyway, here's a light. How about this one? We're about an inch away from that line. And I got the whole inner part cut out. And that big hole that was down here cut out. So let's try to grab our new piece and kind of try to line it up and see what kind of result we get. I'll bring this up here. And we're close. We're really close. All right, got the rest of that cut out. Pretty dang square. Let's set this up there now. I did stick the body mounts in this. That stupid light's in the way again. Really handy that it's got a magnet on it, but also very annoying. So, it appears that it still needs to go back a little bit. Really dang close. Really dang close. And I did cut on the inside of that line that was here. So we could go down the center of it. It wasn't off by much. I would say it was probably lined up around here. And then I'll probably take a little bit more of this off. That's some of the old weld, just to get it cleaned up before we re-weld it anyway. So once we get that set in place, I'm just gonna put bolts in it and hang it. And then we can form fit everything else up to it. And that should work out pretty good for us. Like I said, I've never done this, so I'm just shooting from the hip right now. We probably could take a little bit more of that. Maybe back to here. That's really thin. I missed that spot. Let's take this back a little farther too. And we can always go get a chunk of sheet steel and get all this fixed up. All right, after some measurements and a final cut, we are flushed up for the most part. Obviously we have to fix this whole bottom side and that piece there. I've got the body mounts on it. They're just kind of snugged up for now to hold everything in place, and then you'll see a gap in there, but once this piece comes across, it'll come in there and fill that gap. And then yeah, then so once we get this kind of tacked in place where we want it, we got to measure the ends of it, make sure that it's in the right place for the bumper. These rear bumper shocks, like this one here, those are also slotted, as you can see here, so that this moves. This piece will move back and forth for adjustment. So just got to make sure that everything's really dang close, and then we're gonna have to make one of these because they're extremely expensive to find, and we're gonna keep rolling on this thing. We're making progress as the Canadians say. Oh, by the way, I found this little setup over the weekend and was barely used one time, Came with a full tank of C25. It's one of those unlimited 140s, still just a 110 amper, but it does MIG, TIG, and stick. And really, I just wanted it for the C25 because finding a bottle these days is not easy. 400 bucks for the whole thing, basically brand new. Could not say no to that. So that's what we'll be welding this frame back together with. But anyway, I'm gonna take some measurements here and I will come back and show you what I measured. Okay, well, we're back. So I took some measurements based off of where this one is in relation over here to when I had this piece put in here. Everything looks like it's gonna be a-okay. I've got everything prepped over here for the most part. I did bevel all the areas that I'm gonna weld, just because this is a 110 welder and welding 1/8 inch on gas is about the max that it'll do according to the manufacturer. So I beveled that just to get better penetration. And so I think how I'm gonna do this, I've got a piece laid out over there. I'm gonna weld in this bottom piece and run it over here so I can bend it as I go to follow this contour. And then that'll help us find the contour for this other side. And we'll measure this out. And we'll probably cut that out of one of these pre-curved pieces over here. Made a couple test welds. I bought some 1/8 inch strap today. Here's where this is measured out. Disregard these because I forgot to turn my gas on. But there's my weld, practice weld with the machine set up. It seems to be set up pretty good. So I'm gonna cut this piece out and then we'll just tack it. We'll just tack it on this end over here and then make sure everything's gonna fit right, and then we can start bending it and shaping it to this. You know, tack it, bend it, tack it, bend it, tack it, bend it, you know. That's the plan. Hopefully it goes like I have it planned in my head. We all know there's probably some of you watching this right now that are laughing thinking that's never gonna work. But we're gonna give her a shot. So I'm gonna cut this piece out and then we'll get rolling. All right, let's try to get this jammed back up here. So that's kind of in place. You can see here that this is, you can move this around, but that little gap there is gonna help us with our weld. All right, I did spray the inside of that with with a primer just to protect the metal because it is going to be up inside this cavity. We'll probably spray some other stuff up in there too, just to try to protect it a little bit. I just used this 2-in-1 sandable. So just to try to help protect it a little bit. So let that set for a few minutes and then we'll tack it up. All right, let's try to get this baby tacked up there, shall we? Got that True Value song stuck in my head. You guys ever heard that one? All right, she's tacked right there. So we're obviously gonna lose a little bit here as we form this. So let's get out the whooping stick and I might put a little more tack on the side over here and we'll start kind of like beating this up into place and see how that goes. Really hoping with a little luck this will this will work like I want it to. I probably should have tried to put a little bit of a bend in it before I put it up there. I did not. I think that'll work. If I can hold that up. Give her a little tacky tack. Let's give her a shot, shall we? Okay. Oh, slipped. Slippity. It's working though. Let's get another one in there. I can't see my pry bar. Let's move our stand back a little bit. So we can see what we're doing. Yeah, I like that. So that's held in place. We've got a little gap here, but we can fill that. We take a little bit off that, and actually we cut this piece a little bit too wide on purpose. If you can see that we're overhanging here, because I want this piece to set on top of this, and then I can just run a fillet weld along there, and then if I want, zip the rest of this off. Yeah, I think we'll do that. Let me get the screw jack back over here. We'll try to tweak this just a little bit, throw a tack on it, and we should be good to go. Well, shit the bed, I thought I was recording. So we pushed up this piece and threw this tack in here just to line this up better. And then I stuck a pry bar in here and pulled this down and threw this last tack on the end. And I didn't record it. Oopsie daisy. Anyway, that seems to be lining up pretty good. That's gonna line up nice. Once that gets up where it needs to be, I might have to trim just a little more or bring that down just a bit also. But yeah, that's gonna be pretty good. I like that quite a bit. So let me get ready for our next step. All right, I think what we're gonna do now is we are gonna tack this in place where it needs to be. I'm tacking all this stuff left-handed. It's kind of weird, but let me get this kind of that looks pretty good. It's just the tiniest bit low, but this also has rust buildup and undercoating on it, so I don't think that it's actually low. But we can, if we want to adjust it, we can cut them tacks out of there. Well, I might have actually taken too much off. I just did a blade width. I should have probably tried prying that down first. All right, we got that all filled in. I had to pile it up pretty good. I can grind a lot of that down. All right, we ground that down pretty good. I'm gonna run one more bead on the outside of that, just for extra stability, I suppose. I don't know, because I can. And we'll grind that a little bit, and she should be solid as can be. She should be good and solid now. Okay, so I think what we're gonna do, and we're gonna take this piece of cardboard and we're gonna try to make an imprint in it that we can use for our template. That'll give us a decent shape anyway. I don't know if you guys can see that, but we can cut that out now and kind of fit it and then transfer that to our piece of metal that we're going to use to cut it out. At least pretty close anyway. We'll leave it a little long on the bottom because I didn't get a very good imprint on the bottom side. This gives us, that's pretty close there. There. Got our shape. Cut this out and we'll see how it fits. Okay, well, and there she is. We just got a little trimming to do, and it should be pretty close. So let me do some trimming and we'll slap this baby in. All right, that piece is in there. Let's burn it in. And yes, I did turn the gas on. I remembered. Can you believe it? I can't. And we might as well run a bead down here. Oh, there she be. All right, well, looks pretty good, burned in nice. We might as well run a bead down that quick. All right, let's get this. Oh, blew through it a bit. take this corner here. And one last little spot back here. All right. There it is. She's welded in all on this side. So, honestly, let me shut my light off here. That is going to be part one to this video. This takes a lot of work. It's very time consuming. And I'm out of time if I want to get anything edited for this week. So, what we're going to do, basically the other side's going to be exactly the same. So I'm not going to show all that. It's a lot of the same process, procedure. I hope you guys all got something out of this. This is the first time, like I said, I've ever done it. So I'm sure there's a lot of things that could have been improved upon. And if you'd be so kind, if you have any tips and tricks or whatever, drop them in the comments, let me know. There's not a lot of videos out there of doing G-body or El Camino frames for that matter. Tried to do some research and did the best, you know, that I knew how to do it. It's going to be plenty solid. I mean, this welder does a really nice job. So anyway, this is going to be part one. Part two, the other side hopefully is done, and we're going to get all the body mounts done. That's going to be a process and also a pain. And there's probably going to be some more rotted out mounts, just like we had on this side. So, we're going to conclude this one here. And like I said, I hope you guys got something out of it. Be sure to click that subscribe button. Let's get us to 1,000. And hit the like button. Drop comments. All that stuff helps get our videos shown. Would definitely appreciate it. So, yeah, that's going to be it for this one. We will see you in the next one.